share my screen. Any questions, guys, please? Any questions? No questions. We are good.
Sir, that means each page will hold unique table records.
Unique table means?
That means only one table record.
That's fine. Yes. Each table will store, okay, that particular, say for example, employee table will be there. Employee table, if it is small, it can be stored in this particular page, single page. As the employee table is very small, there is a lot of free space in the page. I'll create student table also in this page. That's not possible. Once one table is created on a page, that page will be locked. You cannot create one more object on the table. Okay.
Even though if the space is available, it will not.
Yes, it won't allow you.
Record.
That is allocate. That is fixed. It won't allow you either you have free space in the page. It won't allow. Why? Because in the future that table might be increased, right? It can increase. So you can create only one table per one page, but one table can be created in multiple pages. Okay, why? Because if the table is big, it will consume other pages also. A table can be shareable between multiple pages, but one page cannot be shareable between multiple objects. Is it clear? One page cannot be shareable between multiple objects, but one object can be stored on multiple pages. Simple thing, whatever I explained till now, the meaning of that particular word is the same. Okay, means you can create table on multiple pages. If the table is big, it will keep consuming other pages. If the table is small, you cannot create one more table on the same page. Any questions, please? No questions? Is it clear, everyone? Guys, no problem. You can ask me. Is it clear, or any issue is there?
Clear.
Clear, right? The only thing is you have to know what is meant by a page, what is meant by an extent, how table will be created, where table will be created. The definition of the page is a basic storage unit. Storage unit. Can anyone tell me definition of the extent? I'll give you the gift. Extent.
A group of 8 pages.
That's okay.
Collection
Group of
of
8 pages. That's okay.
Collection of eight
pages.
continuous pages.
8 continuous data pages. That's okay. I'm expecting
Collection of
better definition.
Basic allocation unit.
Very good. Who is that?
Rafiq.
Rafiq. Very good. I guess you are following the old videos. Extent is a basic allocation unit, guys. Allocation unit. Okay. Basic storage unit is your page. Means when you create any object, at the end of the day, it will be stored on a page. So basic storage unit. Allocation unit. What is this allocation unit? SQL Server will allocate the whole unit for a table. Extent is of course, the definition is correct. Whatever you said is correct. Page is a continuous, 8 continuous data pages, collection of 8 data pages. That's correct. You have to add one more point also. What is that? Extent is a collection of 8, basic storage. I'm so sorry. Extent is a basic allocation unit in SQL Server. Extent is a basic allocation unit in SQL Server. And extent size is 64 KB, guys. Okay. So this is how pages will be stored inside your data files. I'm sorry. So inside database, you will have file groups and log files. Log files doesn't belongs to any file groups, guys. It will exist independent. And inside file groups, you will have data files. We have two types of data files, MDF file and NDF file. These are the two types of data file. Per database, only one MDF file will be existed. Okay, per database, only one MDF file will be existed, guys. Only one. Per database, only one MDF file. MDF means master data file. Per database, only one MDF file will be existed that you will get when you are creating a database. Once this MDF file is full, completely full, okay, then you can utilize NDF file. You can add one more data file that is called NDF file, new data file or next data file. Okay, only one MDF file will exist per database. Once that is full, or even though you want to store data in different file, you can create one more data file. This NDF file, you can create multiple NDF files. NDF files, you can create multiple NDF files, guys. Only one MDF file will be there per database, but NDF, how many you want, you can create. Maximum is, can anyone tell me what is the maximum number?
32767.
Very good. 32767. Okay, 32,767 data files you can create. You can add, guys. You can add to a particular database, to a single database. To a single database, you can add 32767. Actually, it supports 32767 files. Anyhow, you will get one data file. When you create a database, you will get one data file and one log file, right? Two files you will get by default. So if you subtract 2 from 767, it will be 32765 you can add, but logically it will support 32767 files, a particular database. Okay, is it clear? So extent is nothing but it's a collection of 8 continuous data pages, and it's a basic allocation unit of a SQL server. Right, this is the physical hierarchy. Okay, if you see here, database, okay, this is also one more thing. Inside, if you go inside the page, this is how it look like, guys. You can see page header and then row offset. Okay, and your records will be stored like this. This is not data, this is not data, this is data. Okay, data row 1, data row 2, data row 3. So inside, in your 8 KB page, this is the structure of your 8 KB page. You will have page header in the page, every page, this is the structure, and you will have rows will be stored like this. And if you see here color combination, this is the row offset, guys. Row offset means what? A row offset means it's a kind of address book. This address will be stored here, this record address will be stored here, this record address will be stored here. Okay, so that it's like a address book. Whenever it is trying to pull this record, first it will search in which location that record is stored in the row offset. It will search in the row offset. Once it found the location, directly it will jump to that particular record and it will pull that record, guys. This is the internals of page. Internals of page, 8 KB page is there, right? Inside 8 KB, if you go inside the 8 KB, this is how it look like. You can see your database. Okay, and this is the body of the page. This part is the body of the page. This part is the body of the page, and this is your row offset, which will store address of each record, guys. Okay, this is how it will be stored inside your database. Right, fine. Next, next. Okay, you can see. Okay, done. Okay, this is how it will be created, guys. Any questions here? Please let me know. Just give me 1 minute. If you have no questions, just give me 1 minute. I'll be back. Just 1 minute. Right. And guys. So what we can do now, go to the SQL server. Let's create a database. Why? Because first I want to create a table as per this architecture. Okay. If I want to create a table, you should have schemas. If you want to create a schema, you should have databases. If you want to create a database, you should have SQL instance. This is already there. Okay. We have already installed SQL instance. So now we have to create database. When you create database, you will get some default schemas. DBO is one default schema, DBO, database object. Okay, this is one default schema. Automatically you will get, when you create a database, automatically you will get this schema, so that you can create the table once you created the database and all. So let's see how to create the database. Very simple, it's easy guys. I'll show you how to create the database in two ways, GUI way, command way also. Let's go with the GUI way so that you will get an idea. Right, okay, let me maximize this window. Right, let me cancel this guys. I'm sorry. So to create a database using GUI, right click on this database, select new database, maximize this window. You can still create the database if you don't maximize the window also. Okay, right. Database name, there is no criteria guys. In the practice, whatever you want, you can give, not an issue. But in the organization, who will tell what kind of database you want to give? So you cannot give whatever name you want. Okay, you cannot give your pet names, your nicknames, or whatever you want. You cannot give like that. There is a naming strategy. The application team will tell you this is the database name and all. You will get inputs from the application team. Based on that, you have to create. Guys, we have to work for application team. Why? Because they are the application owners. For that application, our database is up and running. So we have to work on the application requirements, guys. Application team, whatever they are going to tell, we have to go for it. Okay. So we can create a batch 44 database, batch 44. You can type like this. That's it, guys. If you click OK, automatically database will be created. That's it. Automatically it will be created. If you want to see, that's it. This is how simple it is to create a database. Simply you will give the database name and you can click OK. But let me create one more database so that you will get an idea. Okay, so let's go with the Mintra database. Okay, Mintra owner, usually in the SQL server, if at any time the owner of any object will be SA. Okay, system admin. SA will be the database owner, table owner, okay, object owner, job owner. There is no table owner kind of thing. Database owner, job owner. So whenever owner is there, always SCA will be the owner, guys. Listen carefully. This is the important point. Whenever if it is asking owner, always SCA will be the owner. Okay, so you can simply change it to SCA. Before changing, you can see default. Default means what? What will happen, sir, if I don't change it to SCA in the last demo? Without changing to SCA, you just created the database. So database is creating. What will happen if I don't change it to SCA? No issues. You can still create the database. But the challenge is, if you go to this database properties, right click properties, you can see database owner as, who is the owner? Who is the owner?
Windows
Administrator. Why I got this administrator? Because
default.
I logged in with administrator account and I created, this person created the database. So who is creating the database? Database owners will be populated as his name. If Santosh is creating a database by logging with his name Santosh, then database owner will be computer name / Santosh. If Priyanka is creating a database with her login, database, if she don't give the database owner as SCA, then the database owner will be computer name slash Priyanka. What is the problem, sir? If it is there like that, no issues. But Priyanka got a good opportunity in another company. Priyanka left the organization. Then Priyanka login will be deleted, right? Priyanka login will be deleted, right? There is no Priyanka login now. If the Priyanka login is deleted, whatever the objects that are associated with the Priyanka won't work properly. But SCA, you can ask, sir, if anyone deleted the SCA, no one can delete SCA, guys. Okay, no one can delete SCA. It's a permanent login. If you see in the logins list, it's a permanent login. No one can delete SCA. So that's why always SCA will be the owners of the objects. Okay, so it's must and should. Very important. That is the difference between a fake guy and a real-time guy. Sometimes they will ask you to create the database and all. If you don't see, it's not like sometimes real-time people also they will forget and they will create the database. It's not like if you don't change the database owner to your particular SCA, you are a fake. Not like that. Some people will forget. That's very common thing. But initially they will keep an eye on you guys. Initially, first 1-2 months they will keep an eye on you. Okay, so that's why you have to do without having any mistakes. Whatever tasks that you are handling, you have to execute without having any issues. Otherwise, for other people, see, if that person, that team lead or your colleagues are broad-minded, they don't care. Some people you cannot expect the mentality of that person, right? Your colleague, right? He or she might have some other personal interests and all. So they are trying to okay find the faults, mistakes in you. So it can't be a mistake. That's why I'm saying very minute points also. That's why I'm explaining by taking this much time. So you should be very clear in setting up the database objects, owners. Okay, like while creating databases and all, you have to always change the owner to SCA, guys. Okay, right. It's the best practice. Right. And I told you when you create a database, I told you two files will be created. I told you two files will be created. What are those two files, guys? Can anyone tell me?
MDF and NDF.
MDF and NDF, not NDF. Okay. Data file and log file. Okay. When you create a database, data file and log file will be created. This is very common for any database. When you create a database, one data file will be created, which is MDF. Data file means MDF. Log file means LDF. Master data file, log data file, LDF. LDF. Okay. You should have these two files, guys. If this file is full, then you can add second file, second data file, which is MDF. Dot MDF. Okay. Then you can add, if this second data file is also full, then you can add one more third data file, that is third NDF, fourth NDF, fifth NDF, like that you can keep on adding. But it's not mandatory. It's optional only. But these two files are mandatory. One data file and one log file is mandatory. Okay. So those two files you can see here. Right. This is your data file. So how you know which is data file, which is log file? If you expand, you can see rows data means data file. And of course, for this file, you can see underscore log means log file. Type of the file is log file. Okay. I told you here in this architecture, data files won't exist lonely, right? Where it will be created, where the data files will be created, where the data files will be created. You can see the diagram where it will be
Data.
created.
File groups.
File
File
groups. File groups. So file group, without file group, data files can't exist. But log files will be exist without file group. But data files can't exist without file group. You can see here primary file group. See, if you see here, file group is primary. What is this primary? That is the default file group that you will get with your database while creating. Can I add one more file group? Yes, you can add. How many file groups I can add? Can anyone tell me?
3276.
Very good. 32767. If you go to file group section, you can see primary here. I want to add one more file group. Add file group. Now you can give FG1. You can click OK. It will be added. Okay. So like this, you can add the file group. Now, if you want, see this data file location, you cannot change it to another file group. This is fixed. MDF means it should be created in the primary file group only. Right. Chalo. Okay. So this is your LDF. See here for this log file, you can see file group is not applicable. You don't see any file group. You cannot select any file group. There is no file group concept for log files. And initial size. Initial size of your data file is okay 8 MB guys. Initially your data file size will be 8 MB. Sir, why sir 8 MB? I want to give 100 MB. Yes, you can give. I want to give 1 GB. Yes, you can give. I want to give 1 TB. Yes, you can give. No issues. No one will stop you. But once you give 1 TB, that 1 TB will be allocated to this file, and okay, in your drive, in which drive you are giving 1 TB from that drive, that 1 TB will be locked. Even though you are using it, you are not using it, will be locked, guys. Right. You can see here as of now, usually while creating the database in the organization, you might see 500 MB, something like that. Sometimes you can see 100 MB. You don't need to change it. Keep it as it is. We don't change anything, guys. Listen carefully. We don't change anything. Simply I am explaining each and every option. Okay, 8 MB, 8 MB. It will be, if you want, you can give more size also, like just by adding 80 MB like that. Right. Fine. Auto growth. What is this auto growth? What is this auto growth, guys? If my 80 MB data file is full, of course I told you, just give one example like end of season sale, end of season sale. People keep on buying the things and the records will be stored inside the table. So this 80 MB is not sufficient. Then what happened? It won't be okay. It won't throw any error that hey, 80 MB is full. Data file is full. I cannot store the data. It won't throw error. When it won't throw error? If you enable auto growth option. If 80 MB is full, if auto growth option is enabled, enable auto growth, then automatically the data file will grow. Data file or log file, same. You can see the option for log file also. If data file, if this 80 MB is full, next what? Okay. Next, as you enable the auto growth, how much, in what way you enabled? You enabled in megabytes, second option. How much? 64 MB added. Means once this 80 MB is full, 64 MB will be added to this file. What is the file size, guys? New file size. What is the new file size? 80 plus 64? 144 MB. Right? Correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct, guys?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
144. When, if this 80 MB is full, if auto growth is enabled, if you don't enable the auto growth, if you see none, if this 80 MB is full, then it can't grow automatically. This file can't grow automatically. Then you will get an error. Data file is full error you will get. Your transactions won't be inserted. Okay, so always the data file auto growth will be enabled, guys. Okay, right. So always it's the best practice. Why? Because you are going to monitor hundreds, thousands of databases. Inside that, is it possible which data file is full, which is not enabled, and again, can you increase the size and all after that? Very difficult task. So always auto growth will be enabled in the organization. And you can give in percentage or you can give in megabytes. In percentage, if you give, say for example, you give 10% or 50%. Tell me guys, my 80 MB is full. What is the new file size now? I hope you are good in mathematics.
120.
40 MB.
120, sir.
130.
130,
120.
120, 110, 180. Jaldi ya? Houseful,
120,
houseful.
130, sir.
40 MB.
40, yeah, the first line.
120.
120 MB line.
120.
Tell me, guys.
120.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. The answer is 120, guys. 80 MB is full. Then next percentage, right? 50 percentage of 80 MB, how much? 40 MB. 80 plus 40, how much?
120.
120 MB. Okay, let me give you like this. I'll see how good you are in mathematics. 20 percentage. Tell me, guys, now. Don't use calculators. Use your brain only. Just by using the brain, you have to tell me the answer. Don't use calculators. Don't use pen and paper.
96.
96.
96.
Very simple. See, always don't consider it as a 20. Consider it as a 10. Okay. 10 MB of 80 means how much? 10 percentage of 80 means 8 MB. So 10 percentage 8 MB
8.
means 20 percentage means 2 into 8 MB, 16 MB. 80 plus 16, 96 MB. Very simple to calculate the percentage. Let me give you 5 percentage. Now tell me, guys, quick. 5 percentage if I
4.
give.
84.
That's it. 10 percentage means 8 MB. 5 percentage means 4 MB. 80 plus 4, 84 MB. Okay, fine, guys. Guys, I have a quick question. Please set direct message to me. I'll ask this question in every batch. Okay, tell me frankly. Set a message directly to me. How many milliseconds will be there for 1 second? Don't tell the answer. I want to see, and don't Google it. Don't Google it. How many milliseconds will be there for 1 second? I got only one answer till now. How many milliseconds for 1 second? Don't send direct, I mean, like everyone, don't send messages to everyone. Send direct message to me. I got only 5 answers, oh my god. How many milliseconds are there for 1 second, guys? Only 7. But only 7 answers. Remaining 8 people, you don't know the answer. 10 people, I got answers from 10 people. Still 5 more people are there. 11 people. 3 people. 3 more people are there to respond. 2 more people. I hope you are not sleeping. Other 2 people. Okay, done. Let's see. That's okay if you don't respond, not an issue. Okay. Okay, Sunil, that is the last answer, right? Okay, 1060. Giri said 1000. Gouda said 1000. Okay, fine. Pasha said 60. Rajesh Babu 100. Priyanka said 1000. Suresh Yadav 1000. Sunil 60. 1000, 60,000. 60,000. Okay. I got most of the answers as 60 and 1000, guys. 1 or 2 persons answered as 100. Answer is 1000, guys. For 1 second, 1000 milliseconds. For 1 second, 1000. Not 60, not 100. Okay. You don't see at any time, but for 1 second, 1000 milliseconds. Okay. Fine. Just want to check. That's it. Okay. In our last batch, lot of people said 60 only. So that's why. Right, guys. So now you know the difference in auto growth. Is it clear auto growth? What is this auto growth? Yes, and this option. See, you just set it as auto growth. Till how much point it can grow, guys? Till how much point it can grow? See, if I gave you food, hey, please, I just gave you a biryani. Okay. Hey, please eat how much? I just gave you a handi of biryani and asked you to eat the biryani. How much you can eat? How much?
Stomach size.
Till the stomach fills.
It depends on your stomach, right? It depends on your stomach. So until your stomach is full, you are going to eat the biryani, right? In the same way, in which location you are storing your data file? In which location you are storing your data file? In this location means in which location, guys? C drive, right? In C drive, how much free space is there? How much free
8.32.
8.32 GB means your data file, if you enable auto growth, if you keep on inserting the data, if you enable auto growth, it can grow. The file, any of this file can grow up to this 8 GB, 8.32 GB. Once this 8.32 GB is consumed, the C drive will be full. Once this is full, you cannot insert the data. Why? Because drive is full. In this case, file is not full, but the drive which is hosting the file is full. What is the solution, guys? Tell me, generally I'm asking, what is the solution? What is the solution? I guess
we need to
Windows,
create.
we have one
Yes,
Windows guy, right?
will
We have one Windows
will
guy.
change that drive location.
Directly will change it.
Drive.
That is the next action, or any other action is there?
No, sir. No, sir. We have to increase the drive space by
That's it.
VM or Windows team.
We
Yes,
need to provide storage.
that's it.
Extra
You will simply increase this drive size. Now it is 25 GB only, right? You can add a 25 more GB to this drive, so the drive will be 50 GB. If the 50 GB is full, you can add 50 more GB, 100 GB. If 100 GB is full, you can add one more 100, like that, until this drive can reach up to 2 terabytes. We have two types of storage: MBT partition, GD. What is that, guys? GBP, yeah? What is that? Any Windows guy is there? MTR and GBP partitions. Okay, so in that, max disk size is up to 2 terabytes. You can extend this drive up to 2 terabytes, guys. Up to 2 terabytes you can extend that drive. Means if this file is full, what you can do, you can request the Windows team. That we don't do actually. We have to request Windows team. Windows team will increase the drive size. Okay, guys, is it clear? Any issues, any doubts in auto growth and the path? Okay, right? So let me give in my anything you can give, but it depends upon your organization standards. Yes, please.
So normally the maximum full size will be open unlimitedness.
Yes, correct. It will be unlimited. It will be like this only. You cannot limit the data file. If you limit a data file to 1024 MB, what happened? It will grow up to 1 GB. Why? Because you just limited this file. You just locked this file. Hey, you have to grow up to 1 GB. After that, you cannot grow. Why? You just limited the file. You cannot do that. Do that. By default, it is unlimited. Keep it as it is. Any questions here?
One more question. These paths are default paths only, no, sir? Whatever.
Yes, correct.
Programs,
Those are the default paths. We don't use that default paths. We will use a separate locations. And again, it depends upon the company to company. Sometimes the default path, okay, if you are regularly storing in the same path, yes, you can store in the same default path. You know that we don't store in that path, we will store in a different path. Then you will simply browse it, in which drive you want to store, select that drive, and you can select the folder so that it will be stored in that particular path.
Normally industry standard we will store in another server.
Correct. Not server, only drives.
Another drive.
We don't store any data in the C drive. As we have only C drive, I am storing it in the C drive. The organization, for data files, you will have one separate drive like E drive. For log files, you will have one separate drive like L drive, like that. It's not mandatory that these two files has to be stored in a same location, same path, same drive. No, you can store data files in a separate drive. You can store log files in a separate drive. Actually, in the organization, this is how it will be. That is the best practice. Data files will be stored in a separate drive. Log files will be stored in a separate drive.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? Any other questions, please?
If we miss a owner name, can we add it later?
Happily, you can do that. You can change it. No issues at all. Yeah. Any questions? Right? That's fine. File names you don't see now. Actually, these are the physical file names. So let's do one thing. This is the path, right? Let's go to this path. Control C, Windows R, Control V, Enter. Okay. See here. I created batch 44 right earlier. Now this is Myntra database. For batch 44 data file, this is the log file. This is the physical structure. This is the physical representation. I told you, right? You can see with your naked eyes. You can see with your naked eyes. See, these are the two data files. Don't ever try to open this file. It will be corrupted. If you double click on it, if you are trying to open, it will be corrupted, guys. Don't. I want to see extents. My SAR set extents and all. Let's check the extents. Let's see the pages. No, it will be corrupted. You can go up to this path only, this location only, and you can see the files physically like this only. You cannot go inside this data files. Okay. Right, as I created a batch 44 database initially, you can see batch 44 data file, batch 44 log file. If you want to see, here you can see type of the file. One is data file, second one is log file. Transaction, log file or log file, both are same. Now if I click OK, you will get two more files, Mintra data file, Mintra log file. I'll show you that also. Why I opened this path? Okay, chalo. Just to show you, it will create two files. As of now, you don't see Mintra data file, Mintra log file, right? Okay, now once I click OK, you can see, let it keep it aside. Let us keep it aside, keep it like this. Options and all, we don't change anything in the options. Lot of options will be there. Recovery models, I'll tell you there is a separate class on the recovery models. Compatibility also will discuss. Containment, that's a separate feature, we don't use it. So these are the different options. Some of them are true, false. Don't change anything, don't touch anything. File groups we have already discussed. If you want to create extra file groups and all, you can create like. Okay, I want to add NDF file, sir. During database creation itself, I want to add NDF file. You can click add file and you will get like this. Okay, Mintra F2. F2 means not fun and frustration. F2 means file 2. Okay, so here you can choose, you want to create a data file or log file. You can choose like this. I want to create a data file. So which file group, in which file group you want to create? I want to create FG1 as I have already created. You can still create in primary only, no problem. Or I want to create this file in a separate new group. You can choose this option. It will ask you to create the group and you can select it. This is how you can select the separate group, guys. Okay, chalo. Now actually you will get 3 files. Why? Because I'm adding one more data file. But what I'm going to do, I'll delete this just to show you how to add files. I just gave that example, guys. Now let me click OK. Done. See here,